Welcome to Talk Purpose and Truth, shifting you into higher consciousness. A show that elevates, uplifts, and encourages listeners to grow, heal, awaken, and evolve. Eden and Kim include bold topics, interviews with inspiring guests, experts, and celebrities, intuitive readings, channeled messages, mental health awareness, and hot topics to expand your awareness. Tune in for unprecedented truth, authenticity, on-purpose discussions, and magical moments.
Because we want as much time with him as possible. And very excited to welcome Craig Shoemaker. I have seen him through the years doing comedy, probably, for the last, I don't know, maybe even like 20 years. My parents started seeing him and bringing us. And then I would say I've probably seen him like 7 times doing comedy all over the place, Vegas and Laughlin and in California. I know he does many, many other things. He's an actor. He was on NBC's Parks and Recreation in Scream 2, The Bold and the Beautiful. He was one of the writers of shows like Fuller House, which my kids and I watch, which is really cool. Mm-hmm. And then he even won the funniest stand-up comedian on the American Comedy Awards on ABC. And he's an author of many books. So we have a lot to talk to him about. But what I like so much is that he's all about having laughter heal you. And that's what we're all about, is just helping people find ways they can heal. That's what this show is all about. Yeah. And so perfect start to have you on for the new year, Craig. So welcome.
Yeah. I loved everything about that except for my parents. It sounded great until you got to my parents.
My parents are cool though.
No, it's not that. I'm going, oh, this is great. I'm connecting with the young, and my parents brought me.
they're very young spirited. They're only 70. So
it reminds me when I was dating, they would go, my parents love you.
Oh my gosh.
I don't, but my parents, they get a kick out of you. But it's been that way my whole life. But anyway, I'm happy to be here because we're aligned in the same mission. We have the same, very similar missions of life. It's about, I call this a big old spiritual rebooty call that we're in. And I believe that since the moment we were, had this pandemic come upon us, we're in a big shift. It's a conscious shift. We need to be conscious about it. And I believe that laughter is a pathway to enlightenment. It's the bullet train that gets you there. So I really believe in the healing powers of laughter. I actually own Laughter Heals, the nonprofit, and have for many years. And I did a shift this year away from comedy. I still do it, and I'm doing it at the highest level I ever have because I'm so upset so now I get my frustrations out. I'm the nicest person in the world, but lately I hate people.
A little bit of a contradiction.
Who's with me? I said, you know what it is? I'm spiritual, but I'm also Philadelphia. I'm stuck between namaste and kiss my ass. That's where I am.
Yeah.
I just so much arguing going on out there, and hypocrisy and lies, and it's tough to deal with. So we really have to be solid on who we are right now. And I'm coaching it. I'm doing a lot of coaching right now. That's been my big pivot, and I'm happier doing that than I am performing, which is all about me, and that's wonderful, and it's wonderful to manifest those laughs. But there's more purpose behind what I want to do right now in the world. I want to make a difference. Yeah.
So what was it that made you kind of shift out of comedy into where you're at now, into becoming more conscious and helping others become more conscious?
Well, it started actually years ago. I was getting all these, you get these little God shots or whatever you want to call them, and I would get these shots from people that would come up to me after the show. Oh, I remember in Detroit. Oh, yeah, we want to thank you. I was it's all right. No, really, we want to thank you because we were told we couldn't get pregnant, and we went home after your show. My husband did the Love Master, yeah, baby. So, and things must have loosened up or whatever, and she had a child, and then about 5 more gave me credit. One sent me a photo of a kid that was conceived in the parking lot of the Brea Improv. They couldn't even wait to get home. So I'm like, I set it up, you knock it down, you know what I mean? But the bottom line is, wow, this is something. I mean, and then I realized that there really are healing powers to laughter. and including relieving stress, which is a lot of times when people are trying to have a child. You know, I'm not saying I'm a fertility clinic, but this does work. It loosens things up. You're not forcing will, and you're really letting go, truly surrendering. I think you guys were talking about that earlier.
Yeah.
There's a surrender that's going on and needs to happen anyway. And laughter really is a way to get to that surrender almost easier, because you're truly letting go. You're letting your body, your mind, your spirit let go. So these babies were conceived, including the director of my film, The Love Master. We were filming at the time. He's one of my best friends. He wrote Cool Runnings, Little Giants. We bond through comedy. Our best friends always make us laugh. I see you guys make each other laugh. It's a wonderful bond to have. That's our best friends. And sure enough, that we were. And baby Kayla was born 9 months later after The Love Master. He did The Love Master in Arizona. Baby Kayla was born. But a year and a half after that, he got brain cancer. They gave him 3 months to live. And that was my, I guess you could call it my epiphany, but my ha-ha moment. I went, hey, what can I do for this guy? He's got 3 months. So I said, I'm going to jump in there and give him all I got and making him happy on his last days. But in the meantime, I started Laughter Heals workshops, and I've worked on these workshops. I came up with a new thing today. I'm going to try it on you, or yesterday. I'm going to try it on you, what I do. It's so much fun. I'm going to try it on you guys. The first to hear this, a brand new technique. I have these techniques and prescriptions, and he took all of it. He showed up for all these workshops. He lived 15 years past that 3-month prognosis.
Oh, I have chills. Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
And I visited him on his in hospice. It really got bad, and it's a few years ago. And I said, "Golds, you all right? We filmed this for a movie." And he's in a coma. He didn't know I was there. I was there, you know. But they always say that they know you, that they really do know. I said, "What can I do? What can I do for you?" I said, "I don't know what to do." I said, "Want me to give you a handy?" I said, I never told anybody my own. I'll give you a handy. He came out of a coma and he goes, ah, and he laughed. I made him.
Oh my gosh.
And he died 2 days later, but I was so happy. I was able to give him that gift at the very end. This is what we share together. This is what we share. You know, all the possessions and everything goes out the window when you're on your deathbed. It's meaningless. But that had so much meaning to him as we had that last connection. I offered to give him a handy. I didn't do it, by the way. I did not go through it. But just so you know.
It would have been for charity, you know.
Old scold, I'm doing this for charity, okay?
Yeah. It doesn't count.
It doesn't count. I get a government write-off on this, all right?
Oh, my gosh.
So,
wait, I want to see. Can you try what you said on that?
Oh, yes. It's a brand new technique. Oh, my God, I love it. So I was seeing a client. I see personal clients and really help them with their transformation. It's working. And here's the new technique I came up with yesterday. She was having, you could feel her fear. It was this actually on the phone. I could feel her fear. She's very, kind of talks like this and, you know, very tentative. And, you know, like, it's like, come on, we got to get down there. We got to get down there. How are we going to do it? I already do a thing called a guided laughitation, but that takes a little longer and that works as well. But I have a new one. It's called, it's called Chuckle Chatter. So if I just tell you anything, I do it as I'm laughing. And watch what happens. Ready? Okay. I went to the grocery store. I got out of the car. I got in the cart and I bought vegetables. And I paid with cash. So anyway, so you see how you both are smiling? It's reflected back.
Yes.
It's something that's it's a group conscience that's going on. It's contagious when you laugh. I said not one joke there, but both of you could not prevent yourselves from at least smiling, which releases these healing enzymes in our bodies. It shifts everything that's going on. It makes things meaningless. And so that's my new thing. It's called Chuckle Chatter, and you chuckle as you're just telling anything mundane, anything. And you just say it with a chuckle, and everybody else goes, wow, this is funny. It's not, you know, there's no jokes, or there could be, but that's my new technique.
I love it.
And it lightens the mood, and I think it puts people like in a just a better mood, no matter what. Yeah.
I have a course called Command the Room, and it's really about commanding the room through humor. I teach people how to alchemize humor and turn that into gold. We all have it. We all have a sense of self, a sense of humor. But you got to mine it. There's so much that covers it. So I have techniques to get people to uncover it, because there's so much baggage, whether it's anger, resentment, misplaced rage, all that stuff that's going on in society right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of get through that and go, okay, how can we facilitate something else here? and that's what we do. So that was my I just debuted it on your podcast.
I love it. You're giving me, because I have like 6 speaking engagements this month, and I just realized I'm like, everyone's so in their head and focused on what's wrong. If I start out each one with having them do something that's either laughing or, like silly, then that's going to shift the whole thing and make them pay attention and feel better. So thank you.
That's what I do. I teach speakers how to get out of get out of the phony into yourself. I have all of these tools that I offer. I mean, years of experience in this world of transformation. I go back 25 years with Tony Robbins, and this is my jam. More, and even though I became, they say 10,000 hours, you're an expert. I put probably 20,000 into comedy, and since high school, and a great level. It's wonderful. It's fed back. It's fed my family, but now this is where it needs to go, because of all times in our history, world pandemic that we all share. Whether you've been hit by it directly or not, we are sharing the craziness, the insanity that's going on. I'm starting to point that out too. Some of the hypocrisies. We got to laugh at them. Yeah. We're so serious. I say, take laughter seriously.
Yeah, and now you're doing it with purpose. It's you're using your gifts, your talents to help people in so many ways now.
Oh, and people are so locked in to being right. But you know what it is? It's all fear. They want to be right. Like if you're told, I was told in the beginning, I was golfing with a doctor. It was really during those really scary days. He sees somebody with a mask, and he's a doctor. He goes, you don't need those things. Because those don't do any good. And then like months later, there he is, triple masked. Well, what happened to that? He goes, well, I've done some other review. But no, what it is, it's like peer pressure and all these, people telling you this, and, people driving alone with a mask on. No, I'm going to make fun of you. I don't care. You can tell me. Someone argued with me yesterday. He said, well, you have to keep it on. No, I'm sorry. I'm going to make fun of you. And also, I'm in Vegas, and they said, put it on, put the mask on. But if I sit down for a $90 steak, take it off. All of a sudden, the steak is building a perimeter. There's no COVID here because I have a steak in front of me.
Right.
Right.
And I'm laughing about it. I don't care if anybody gets mad at me or if they go, no, it's this way, it's that way. That's you telling yourself because you want to believe it. But there's other things, obviously, it's happened in the history of the world that people don't tell you because there's an agenda. I have an agenda as a comic to open up avenues that you're not willing to explore, to pull curtains on phonies and things that we're being frauded on. That's what a comedian does. And have you noticed that they're trying to shut us down with cancel culture, with censorship? They want us to stop the comedians. We're so afraid of the comics. What they're going to say that's going to be offensive.
The truth.
Meanwhile, exactly, the truth is offensive. It's a fiend to certain people that live in that lie.
Yep.
Right, and so many people are like angry. Like there's the ones that have taken on that being right stance and have these, whatever it may be, conspiracy theories, are the ones that are angry all the time. And you walk by them and they're like, oh, how are you doing? Oh, I don't know, everything, I'm okay. And it's like, okay, how is that serving you? Is that working for you?
No, it doesn't. Righteousness doesn't serve anyone. I had a thing happen, I do a lot of Zen consciousness and stuff like that. And I go to a Sangha on Sundays, and the guy did like an intervention on me. I had this wonderful thing happen. I'm going to share this with you as well. Is ego. I divorced my ego. I filed for divorce from my ego. And by the way, ego wants to stay married. Hey, remember when we had sex in the back of the car? Oh, you remember me, don't you? I go, oh, no, I see you. I'm not going to marry you again. I'm not even going to have a one-night stand with you. I recognize you, ego. And that ego runs the show. It's trying to be right. It's trying to look good. It's trying to protect image. It's trying to go with peers so that you're loved. You go along with the peers and you go along with the tribe. And ever since I've done this, it's such amazing freedom. Amazing freedom. And that's my new year. That's my new year, is this surrender and this freedom. It's so cool to live like this.
Yeah. Yes. You have so much peace that way.
I have so much peace and so much joy. That's how the thing just came up yesterday. I wasn't sitting writing. It came up with this client. I go, let's try this little chuckle chatter. And, so that's how life is unfolding now without that, resistance and that fear and the doubt and the worry that prevents us from being our true self. You can't be authentic if you allow other people to lead you down these pathways of anger and fear and so on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Living in a higher conscious way. And it's hard. It's hard right now because most people are not doing that.
Yeah, you'd be surprised. I can't even believe what's manifesting right now in my life. Ever since I'm starting to put out this energy, I just had 2 new team members that walked in here today in my studio. They're part of my tribe now. We want to form a tribe, a laughter movement. It's a spiritual movement. People don't think laughter is spiritual. It's extremely spiritual. It's the closest you can come to your true self. Floating through this, you're oxygenating your body, healing endorphins are released, stress is relieved. I'm gonna look one by one magnetically draw in this tribe that's gonna grow and grow and grow. I believe it's exactly what we need, and we're gonna have more and more people going down that, but they don't have the options right now. I'm gonna lay out the options for them. They don't know any better. People are just gonna go, I'm gonna join the right, I'm gonna join the left, and that's it, because those are my, or I'm gonna join this religion because this is put in front of me, but nobody's really going within.
Yeah.
Answers.
Yes.
Your answers are there.
Yes.
That's
and that's
the
what
key.
that's what our whole show is about. So you attracted this. You
That's
attracted
why I'm
this
here.
as well.
Oh, it's so exciting.
The first show of the year. Yeah.
Awesome.
I love it.
Okay. Well, okay, next question.
Yeah.
I feel like we can just talk about that and there's nothing else to talk about.
Right?
Okay. Well, I don't know if this applies anymore. Has comedy changed in this climate with political correctness, cancel culture? We already talked about. How have you adapted to all that? I don't know if that really applies anymore.
Well, yeah,
I think you answered it.
How do you like, if you were to go do stand up now, like, can you do the Love Master? Like, what do you have to be careful of now, or how do you adapt?
Yeah, the answer is yes, unequivocally yes, because I know what my intentions are. I'm a very, very good person, so I'm not there to offend or hurt anyone. And if I do, then that's on them. That's on them. First of all, they can move on to the next joke. They don't have to have this virtue signaling that people are doing. And that's your problem. That's your issue. I'm not going to make it my problem. I am out there to entertain and make people laugh. And none of it, it's all based on my personal experiences. This Love Master is a character that I developed because I was a geek growing up, and women that look like you two would shoot me down. How girls go to the bathroom together in high school, the posse P, they took me with them. That's what a geek I was. So I was always the F word, friend. I was always the friend. And that's how the Love Master, yeah, baby, that's right. Social distance, 6 feet. That's just the tip, baby. Oh, yeah. So the Love Master is developed because that's my antidote to all the women and girls who wanted to be my friend. So all that is this childlike, talking about his girth and his, his sexual prowess. Who cares? How can that offend you?
Right.
We all got here by having sex. Why do we not talk about sex? Every one of us is the product of sex. And
True.
most of us have had sex. So I know if you have children, you have had sex. So this is something that we have been so trained. So what I teach and what I coach and what I mentor is we have to retrain to go back to who we truly are. And who we truly are light and levity and happiness and joy. That's how we see the world until they start telling us what to do. You get rewarded for getting in their lines. You get rewarded for taking the tests that they give you. I'm about, no, let's get back to the purity of self. That's why they censor comedians. They don't want that truth. And by the way, we've been censored for years. Look at the FCC with language. What is language? Who cares? We've been trained to make the F word have this meaning that has no meaning in any other language. So what's the intent behind using the F word? If you're using it to accentuate something, so what?
Right, it's a word.
It's just a word. And how people can go nuts. And you know what it does? It distracts you. now you're in these wars, these religious wars even. That's against my religion. Where is it in the Bible? You can't say the F word. The F word didn't exist in the Bible. It's somebody that told you that interpreted it that, because they can control you that way. Because now all the lemmings are doing the fighting while they hold on to all the power and all the money and all the manipulation. That's why they want to shut up people who have a different take on things. They really break it out that, they are threatened. By the way, everyone's threatened by the comedians now. We were the first ones shut down. Now, you could go to a Krispy Kreme, very healthy for you, but you couldn't go to a comedy club with laughter being the best medicine, right? We're essential workers. We're the last people that be released, by the way, the comedians in the comedy clubs. The restrictions on comedy clubs, unbelievable. I had to have Zoom calls. I spent a year doing comedy without pants. So I am so happy to have pants on again, bringing the laughs.
How do we know right now?
I'm back in the habit of wearing pants now. You're lucky. I got my new jeans on.
Oh, so, I was going to say that could be pajama pants.
I thought, there you go. Oh, I'm so disappointed. So, yeah, by the way, one thing happened during the pandemic, not good, completely. My wife's in menopause, which I think means put men on pause. I'm pretty sure that's what it means. I'm on major pause right now. Other room, the whole deal. And she actually, I'm not joking when I tell you that she has a book on her bedside table. It's called Vagina, a Love Story. I swear to God, I said, I'm going to get you a book called Penis, Remember Me?
Or you can write one.
Believe me, I at least do the forward in that book. This pandemic has not been good for that part of life.
Yeah, tell us more about don't you have a few books?
Yeah, I do. I have one. I think you guys would dig this book. It's so there's a love master character was this Lothario. He's but I actually have mastered love, and so I'm also somewhat of I'm a big time empath, like big time, like ridiculous. I see your past, like clients I do that with. It's crazy. And that's what makes me a good comic, is I can feel a room, I can feel people, and it's just really about gathering the energy like an orchestra leader. And that's what I do. You know what I mean? So this woman, I hardly knew her. She's like like a fan, semi-friend. I have a lot of them. 3,000 miles away, she writes me, thought you want to know, Matt and I are divorcing after 30 years of marriage. And something inside of me, my true self essence, that spirit said, reach out to her. Share your pains, share your experiences. I had a horrible divorce myself. Share it with her. And that's what I did. I started sharing. She was shocked because they think, oh, he's a comedian. They always have us in that mirth monkey label, that we can't go any deeper. And I started sharing with her, and then she started sharing with me. I rushed back to my hotel. It was almost like a love story. Like, we have this back and forth on private message on Facebook. And she was so beautiful in her writing. I was kind of like a muse for her. She never saw any therapist. I was kind of like her therapist. And her feedback just went on 6 months and 7 months. And I went, oh my God, this is something very profound. Something's going on here. And I was actually seeing a man for her. I said, so she did go through the divorce. And that's the book, is our exchange on Facebook on private message. It's called Love Mastered, A Digital Journey to Love and Happiness. And I don't want to spoil the end, but I thought there's this guy who she was in an abusive marriage. This other guy was abused in his marriage, and I fixed them up, and they happily ever after.
Oh my gosh.
Literally a happy ever. I saw a vision, and he's not even that good looking. He has hairy knuckles. I wouldn't go near him. But he actually read the book, and he goes, what do you mean I'm no Brad Pitt? I go, you're not Brad Pitt. Are you kidding me? You're closer to the pits. But she has met her mate. That she was meant to meet. Is the other guy looked good. He had all image and all that stuff. This guy is just, they go to the same, they just went to Neil Donald Walsh together, the conversations with God. They bond in that way, because that's what's going to take you all the way through life with a partner is divine love, divinity. It's not going to be how they look at all, believe me. It goes. it's one of the things she's, I'm sure, not crazy about is like, you know, I've got the belly. No, I get the dad. They call it a dad bod. That's to make us feel good instead of calling us a fat ass. They call us a dad bod. And I got the belly. When I'm naked, I look like a capital Q. If you look from the side.
My kids say that. My kids tell my husband, "Thank you, Dad, that you don't have a dad bod." They say that term.
Hey, he doesn't have a dad bod. How lucky are you? Yeah, well. God bless
Thank you for listening to Talk Purpose and Truth podcast. Find out more at talkpurposeandtruth.com. And follow us at Talk Purpose Truth on Instagram and Facebook.